Hey everybody, this is Tim Hepworth here with Fly Fishing Boat Outfitters and Thursday Night Live Fly Tying, and we are here to bring you another quick tie. This time it is from episode 16 of season 4. I can't believe we're already at this point, episode 16. We are going to get started on this right away, but before we do, I have a real interesting question for you. I need to know, leave it in the comments, if you could be any animal, what would it be and why? Okay? Also, like and subscribe to this video. Click that little icon of the bell so that you know every time we have a new video come out. That way you don't have to come here. We're going to notify you that we've already put one on the air. Okay? I'm tying out of my Thursday Night Live Season 4 kit. You can still get these if you would like. Head on over to our website at www.flyfishingbowriver.com/TNLS4 and you can still pick one of these up today. Go back through and tie all the previous quick ties. All you need is this. Okay? Tonight we are tying the Simple Chernobyl. Really awesome fly, great, simple, as it is in the name. We're going to take you through this one. Let's head on.
What's it look like?
What's it look like? Well, let's see if I can find it on here because I obviously didn't prepare enough to have it off the board for you. If I can find it. Where did it go?
It's over there to the right. Second shelf.
There it is. Actually, in fact, it is right in front of my face. So here you have it. This is the one. Simple Chernobyl. Not every video is going to be this smooth, so you just hang tight. All right, let's get over to the vise and get started. Tonight I am tying with some UTC 140 in black. You are going to want something a little bit thicker so you don't cut through the foam we're going to be working with, okay? We're going to go ahead and start this thread just behind the hook eye. Lay a nice little base down. Then we'll go in there with some scissors. Trim out that tag, and now we're going to work our thread all the way back to the top of the bend. Don't go too far into the bend because we're not going to lay any material down there. You want your thread when it's hanging to be somewhere between the barb and the hook point, okay? Now, the very first thing we are going to put into this fly is we have two different colors of foam, okay? We got some kind of blonde color and a black color. We're going to start by using the blonde. So first thing we need to do is we need to trim this to be the width of the hook gap. So I like to come in here like this, poke a hole with my hook so I can measure where that's going to be, and I can flip it up, look at it. Gives me pretty much the precise measurement. And now I want to come in and I want to trim my foam at that width all the way down. Once you get a good section of that cleaned off, we're going to remeasure it just to make sure. And yes, that does look like it is almost a hook width or hook gap width, but for this first foam, we're going to go just a tiny bit thinner, okay? Just take a little bit of extra off that, as this is going to be the exposed color foam on the underside, okay? Now I want you to square off the end of your foam, and we're going to come in, get our thread back to the start of the hook bend, and we're going to lay a little bit of extra foam out the back, not a ton, about a hook gap width out the back, okay? We're going to take that, take a nice firm wrap, and get that to tighten down, okay? Then I can take a couple extra just to make sure it's down. So you can see on the underside, we've left a little bit out the back, just like that, okay? Now, we're going to get right back to using our other foam. So I want to come in here and check this one. This one's important that we get it to be just about a hook gap. Okay, so I've checked it. It's a smidge long. So I'm just going to come in here, or sorry, a smidge wide. So I'm just going to come in here and trim out a little bit extra. And now that's going to be pretty darn close. Perfect. It's what I want. So I'm going to come in here again and just square off the back end. We're going to leave that pretty square. That is not square. A little bit better, okay? And now we're going to set this right on top of this other foam and even up the back end, okay? So we don't want it to be any longer, any shorter. Have it be just even. We can switch hands. We're going to add a couple more thread wraps. Just like that, okay? So we should have that looking like on top, just like that. Underside's going to look just like that, okay? Make sure that foam is right up on top of the hook shank itself. Take a couple extra just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere right this second. And we're going to put in a couple extra materials, okay? So we're going to add some rubber legs. So you got a couple of strips in your kit of these black rubber legs. They're not barred, just black. We're going to even up the tips like so. I do not understand what the music is we are listening to right now, but we're not going to offend Dana and ask him to change it. So we're going to keep on rolling. All right, let's trim those legs in half. So now we're left with 2 pieces about that length. I'm going to lay them right up on top, okay? Even amount on either side, okay? Take a thread wrap. Make sure I encapsulate them right on top. 2 thread wraps, and just let the bobbin hang. That's going to put enough tension on it. Now we're going to pull 1 set of them to this side and 1 set to the other side. So I pull those to this side, take those 2, pull them to the other side, and they'll sit just between those 2 pieces of foam. So when you spread it out, looks just like that. Holds them pretty nice, right where we want them to be. Now we're going to work with a little bit of cider foam. Okay, so we're going to take just a little strip of some orange foam. Not as wide as the hook gap, just a little thinner. And I trim it like so. I'm going to take off just a little rectangle piece. Something like that, okay? I'm going to lay it right on top. This is obviously called our cider foam because it is what gives us the ability to see this fly. A little bit of orange, okay? So I tie that in just like that. Now I can see it. Now what I need to do is I need to fold up this black foam. And as I move forward, I'm going to segment this tan foam roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 times, starting a little bit bigger and getting a little smaller. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to advance my thread a little bit. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to make my first segmentation. So just around the tan foam, I'm going to pull it tight, keep everything else out of the way. Now if you were to look on the underside, you can see that made a segmentation. Okay, so that's 1. Now I'm going to lift my foam again, run my thread forward a little bit farther. Maybe a touch smaller than the last one. I'm going to do another one. Okay, hold that black foam out of the way, pinch it down. That's number 2. Okay, lift it up, move my thread forward a little more. Get these segmentations to be maybe a smidge smaller now. Do your very best to keep that tan foam right up on top. That's number 3. Okay, I'm going to do one more small one before I bring my black foam back into this equation, okay? And there we go. That's my 4th one. Okay, just like that. Now, where I left that, I'm going to take a couple thread wraps. I want a little bit of space to the eye. I'll lay that tan foam down, pull the black foam forward, pull it tight, take a thread wrap over that as well. A couple more just to make sure it's not going anywhere, pull it tight. Now, if you look on the underside, you should be able to see that black foam just outside of the tan foam. So now we're building this nice stonefly underbody with this tan, and we got the black back on top. Okay, so now that we're back up front here, we're going to take that other set of legs we have. We're going to cut them in half again. Do the same thing we did in the back end. Trim them half and half in distance. Right on top. Couple thread wraps. Let my bobbin hang. Then I can pull on those legs, get them to their respective sides, and pull them even. You got some movement here, okay? You can see like that. Looks pretty good. We'll do a little trim on those legs. Not much, but a little. But first thing we need to do is add our second piece of cider foam. So I'm going to cut another piece about the same length as the front one, just a little rectangle, okay? I'll set it right on top. We'll take a little thread wrap, 1, 2, 3, pull it tight. There you have it. Looks like this so far, okay? Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up both pieces of foam, and I'm going to take some thread wraps right up to the hook eye. And now I'm either going to grab a whip finish tool, or you can grab a half hitch tool, whichever you prefer. And we're going to come in here, and we're going to whip finish this fly. So pull that foam back out of the way. Do a 2 or 3 turn whip finish. Well, you can add a little UV to that, some resin to that, or you can add some other resin, whatever you prefer. Or none at all, depending. All I got to do, guys, here is I need to trim this off. So I want to take my scissors, lay them up against that hook eye, lay my foam on my scissors, pull my scissors out just a smidge, trim it off square. Then I like to go in and just round just a little bit. So you can see on that one side how it's a little bit more rounded than the other, okay? I'm just going to take that little corner off the foam in the front, kind of simulating a little bit of a bullet or round head. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and trim these legs, okay? So I can pull them kind of all down together, Find a length that I like that looks good. I personally like my legs to be a little bit longer on these guys, but they need to be fairly even. Okay, so once you get them to where you like them and they're pretty even, you've got what you can consider a simple Chernobyl. Okay, this is our fly, guys. Lots of color variations to it. Size differences you can do. Really simple pattern and very effective pattern you're going to want to keep in your box. All right, this has been another episode of Quick Tie from season 4, episode 16 of Thursday